All right, and welcome. Hey everyone, hope you're having an awesome day. I wanted to do something a little bit different in my episode today for Tinkertown. I wanted to show off as I'm working towards doing up the desert dungeon, which I will be doing here shortly. I wanted to show off a bit of this armor that's in the game. So I scoured the internet, I was looking around, and part of the issue was which armor was going to be really good for taking into the second dungeon, the desert dungeon, because it's supposed to be a little bit tougher than the first one with traps and enemies and stuff like that. So I was going to show off a few of them. Now, the first, I won't get into the beginning ones. Like when you first start off in the game, you've got your basic leather gear and your set of wood armor, which you can make with the workbench. Wood armor. Yeah, so like this stuff, like your wood chest piece, your gloves, your boots. That stuff's all just your basic gear. You go out, hack down a tree, and you can make that. Go get some bat wings, make some leather. You can make leather gear. Bones, you can pick up some bones and get bone gear. So then where I started is I actually picked up iron. So I was going to show off the iron gear. Now this is kind of the best sort of set, really, I found personally, that you can get before going into the harder zones. So you kind of want to have something like this, at least a set of armor before you go into like the frozen zone, the tundra, and the desert, really. So I was just going to show off some of the stats. Now first, stats in this game, I scoured the internet. If somebody knows differently, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. But it was kind of speculation. This game is still early access. I know they got a long ways to go. It is a lot of fun, but there is definitely some stuff that could be definitely developed further, and hopefully it will be as they go. Stats being one of them. So there's not a lot on there. Like you click on it, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot. But basically, your first health and mana both here are 0. I've never seen that change. But when you get down into here, your armor, your strength, your agility, and your speed, depending on what you put on for armor, these values all change. They can go up or down. My understanding is armor is kind of your defense number. It's how much you can take from when getting hit by enemies. Higher number equals lower damage. Your strength is, from what I read, speculated to be your overall damage. So higher strength equals higher damage done to the enemies in Tinkertown world. Agility, I read, was possibly your weapon speed, so how fast you hit. But again, I don't know for sure. And then speed overall is just how fast you move. And I mean, it's kind of nice when you get into some of the dungeons, when you get some of those enemies and the traps and stuff that you want to get out of. You definitely kind of want to have a bit of a higher speed. Now, when you start off and you just take off your basic, like your gear, I mean, there you go. All stats are 0. So really at the beginning of the game, throwing anything on is probably going to give you something better than just 0 value. So definitely try and get something as soon as you can, put it on, and it'll definitely help keep you alive longer. That being said, I'm going to throw on the iron armor. I'm going to show some value. So here you go. Chest piece. 7 armor, 3 strength, 1 agility. Throwing on some boots, throwing on some helmet, and you can see how things... they scale up, they go up a little bit. The shields are primarily, when you get up a little bit later on, armor, from what I read and what I've seen with the shield that I currently am playing with. Boom, there you go. So, a full set of iron gear gives me 23 armor, 5 strength, 5 agility, 1 speed. So, I mean, it's decent, definitely in terms of armor, and you get a little bit of strength and agility out of it. It's just slow. So if you're trying to dodge attacks, especially when you've got projectiles flying at you from like the goblins that shoot the arrows and the specters and stuff, then you're gonna have a little bit of a harder time moving out of their way. So just be prepared for that. But I mean, overall, having a nice set of iron gear, you can get iron from lots of different places in the grasslands, and it's definitely a valuable piece to have. So so that's your basic iron gear. Now the next sort of stuff that comes up was the cactus stuff. Now I show off the cactus stuff because it's not that hard to get and it's not that hard to make. even if you sneak into the desert biome, I know the desert biome definitely is scaled up a little bit more. It's got a harder difficulty for sure. You don't want to be underprepared going in there because harder creatures and you can die a lot easier. But the cactus itself is everywhere throughout there. So it's not hard to just sneak in, whack down a bunch of cactus, bring it back, build yourself some of that gear. So I think is it the workbench that builds it? Yeah, so here we go. So basically, cactus is nice because all you need is just cactus and leather for the most part. Helmet and a couple pieces of gold bar. So, and gold bar you get from the desert as well. If you get lucky while you're out there running around hitting cactus, you'll probably come across some gold. There's gold and iron in there, so just keep an eye out for that. But you really only need a couple bars to make the pieces, so it's really not too bad at all. Now we'll throw this on and we'll check out the values. So right off the bat you can see it is definitely a little bit lower on the actual the armor overall. So it's only 19. So it's not as high in armor, but your strength and your agility actually go up. Definitely, I think what was the iron armor? 5 apiece, so it's like double the amount for that. So not bad. Not a bad piece of armor to be running around with. Especially in the desert biome. So speed of 2, so a little bit faster than the iron, and that's your basic cactus armor. So fairly cheap to make, offers some decent stats. Now we get down to the last 2. So this was kind of a toss-up for me. So I built each of them, and I wanted to check out the stats to see. Now in the end, I'm choosing to roll with the chitin armor. And I'll explain why in a second, but I'll show off the ice armor. So we got your chest, your gloves, boots, and a helmet. So now your armor level is 35, which is, I think, some of the highest that you're gonna get. I don't think it gets up quite that high with the chitin armor, which is, I think, the next best one. It's definitely decent, so you can take some hits for sure. Now your strength is 7, your agility is 3, your speed is 6. This is by far your fastest armor, so I mean, maybe you can notice I'm definitely ripping around inside my base a lot faster than I would be with original iron armor on. Definitely good for moving and deacon dodging stuff that's coming at you, those projectiles. So the agility, your attack speed, if that is in fact your attack speed, it's kind of low. I mean, 3 is not that high. 7 strength is really not too bad, so a half decent attack level, but not quite as good as the full set of cactus. Now here's what I am choosing to roll with for doing the desert dungeon, and we'll see the stat difference here. Alright, so 26 on the armor. So I mean it's you know, it's definitely lower. The other one was 35, so it's definitely lower in armor, in the armor value itself. Strength 7, agility 12, and speed 5. So where I kind of make up for it is that agility. And I've been kind of testing it, and I feel like maybe it's just in my head, but maybe I do swing a little bit faster with the sword and shoot a little bit quicker with the bow. I don't know. For me, I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of personal preference. I really do like the chitin armor. It's got a cool look to it. And it's got some decent stats to it as well too. It still has a speed of 5, so I'm still moving pretty quickly. I do really like it. It's got a little bit more of a pricey attachment to it for making. There we go, chitin armor. So it's made in your leatherwork crafting table. So it is a little bit more because you gotta get chitin, and in order to get chitin, you gotta go out and you gotta kill a bunch of creatures in the desert. So it definitely, I mean, it's definitely got a bit more of a price point to it because whereas with the ice armor, you got to go out and just get some shards and some iron and stuff like that. I felt like the enemies were harder for me in the desert compared to the ice biome, so it just took me a little bit longer to get. But plus the chitin drops around the same rate, I think, as the ice shards or glacial shards do. So, but I don't know, personal preference. This is what I like. Someone else might like the ice armor. If you played this game and you did like the ice armor better, and you got your reasons why, I mean, share them for sure. I'm always up to see and hear. what people are playing with. But other than that, I mean, that's the basic armor. So we're gonna jump out, and I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the difference between having armor and not having armor when you roll out into the wilds. All right, so I didn't have to go far. I've got a creature hanging out right here, goblin shooter. So right now, I'm taking off all my armor. I'm hanging out my tidy whities here, so pretty sweet. Got him going on. Little sexy purple, blue-haired dude. We're gonna test this out, and I'll show you guys here what the damage looks like without having any kind of stats whatsoever in armor on me. So I take 15 damage. I move slower. I do 8 damage with my bow currently. I'll let him hit me again. Boom, 15 damage. So definitely hurts a bit more. Definitely takes me longer to kill this guy. There we go. All right. Now we'll go find one. Haha, there we go. That didn't even take long. So let's test out the ice armor. I mean, maybe we'll like it better. Let's check out the strength. Boom. So it is pretty good. 17. Not too bad at all. Let's take a hit. 14 with it. Alright, cool. Yep, you got a gun. Perfect. So we'll let you hit us. We'll hit you first. See what we do for damage. 17, that looked like. Yeah, so not bad at all. Well, let's get hit by him. So 13. So, I think it was pretty close, actually. It was around 13, 14 between both armors having them. I was hitting for 17 with that one. So, I mean, these guys are about 2 shots. Yeah, 2 shots with them. Let's see here. This bow, and this bow is insane. Desert bow, best bow that you can get so far in the game, by far. So, and I'm rolling with an ice sword, and I'm absolutely loving that thing too. So, okay, so we were hitting those guys. 17-ish. Oops. Okay, let's see what we got with you. So strength goes down a little bit. So 16. So, well, that actually hit me. So 16, 17. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close. To be really honest with you, they're very, very close. So, I don't mind either way. Blue armor is pretty cool. And this ice armor, but I definitely like that chitin armor for me. I think it's pretty sweet. Hello, Mr. Slime. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's armor comparison video. So as of right now, with the current patch, that's your highest kind of levels of armor is going to be your chitin and your ice armor. And basically next time I see you guys, I'm going to be rolling through the second dungeon, the desert dungeon. So like I said, I'll probably roll with the ice sword and the desert bow and probably a set of chitin armor. I'm just enjoying it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to drop a like for me. I super appreciate it. I appreciate all the support I've been getting. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, hopefully you guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you guys in the desert dungeon when we catch you next. Take care all. Have an awesome day.